In this section, we're going to explain the two types of box drum that exist very briefly. Although different manufacturers are experimenting at present with new systems of percussion, which they include in the field of the box drum, we are not going to go deeply into that in order not to make this part excessively extensive. For the most, it deals with the combination of various box drums, and this doesn't have much influence on the basic technique for playing the instrument. A flamenco box drum is basically a closed box made of wood with a hole at the back, which the sound comes out of. The front part is where the percussionist beats the box drum with his fingers and the palms of his hands. This front part is called a head, and it is manufactured with a finer material, usually plywood. The head is fixed to the box with screws in such a way that they can be tightened or loosened depending on the musician's requirements. There are two basic types of box drum, with a bass string and without a bass string. The bass string is a V-shaped steel guitar string that is placed in the interior of the box drum and on the side of the head. It is responsible for the typical broken sound, crack, that the instrument emits when it is beaten. The box drum without the bass string is identical in all aspects, but because the interior is empty, the crack sound is less marked. The box drums with a bass string can be of two different types, tunable or non-tunable. Tuning a box drum involves increasing or decreasing the crack sound, tensing or slackening the bass string using the screws that are usually to be found at the bottom of the box drum. The looser the bass string, the greater the crack sound. In the second case, the tension of the bass string can only be slightly modified by applying adhesive tape over it in the interior of the box drum. The tuning of a box drum depends exclusively on the musician's criteria. There are those who prefer a greater crack sound and those who prefer a drier sound.